This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from People Forward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I am super excited to have my dear friend, Rana DeBoer, co-founder of Volt Strategy, launch a new series on the podcast called Elevate Your Leadership. In this series, Rana offers a unique blend of behavioral science and business strategy to help leaders take their cultures to the next level and build future-ready organizations. Take a listen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this month's episode of Elevate Your Leadership. Today, we're going to focus on creating some greatness in your leadership through a wildly simple, yet what I would call nearly magical human performance formula. Because that's the point of this small but mighty podcast, right? My goal is to try and supercharge you a bit, to help you really elevate your leadership, especially in those moments of the day when it matters the most. So I'm here to give you some quick tips, hot hits, and help you just really be your best. So for those who don't know me, my name is Rana DeBoer. I am a serious but super fun performance junkie who loves to work with people just like you, helping you reach your full potential and make things happen. And also, it's so important that we create the conditions, we create the work environment for high performance. And that's not just work, right? But it's also about investing in the whole person, because there really is no such thing as work-life balance. There's only life. And work for many of us is a big part of that. So it's a whole picture of performance, and elevating our leadership in today's modern workplace means so much to really bring that human element into a very, very digital world that we are transforming into. So when we can see people, we see our employees at the center of the work, that human-centered design, we really recognize all the factors around them that influence their performance. And then we can design that environment for success, that physical, social, and digital. So that's what being a peak leader is all about, right? We talked about that in the first episode. So I encourage you to get back to that first episode if you haven't listened to it. That'd be really great. It sort of tees up the foundation for all the good things that we talk about. Let's get to it, right? Let's get to it. So like I said, if you haven't already, I encourage you to go back and listen to that introduction, but also last month's episode where we talked about people by you first. And that really means that we lead with great intent, influence, and impact to be your best. So peak leader, is about purpose-driven, energy-fueled, and balanced, action-orientated, and knowledge-hungry. So I want to keep repeating that, rinse and repeat, because that first episode then builds us into the second episode, right? That context brings us into, okay, people by us first. It's about our intentions, our influence, our impact. And then as we keep moving, each episode is just a layer on of the learning, right? And that's why you're here, to learn and grow, because all leaders are learners. And don't forget, there's a peak leader guide that goes with each episode to complement what we're talking about, to really put that learning into action. So think of me kind of as like your coach, elevating your thinking to elevate your action. So today we're going to talk about a formula that you can use not to just perform, but what I would say is outperform in nearly any situation in your life and leadership. And so some of you may have heard of this. So let this be a reminder or a refresher on its value and powerful effectiveness. For some of you, this might be new, but I'm sure there's something in your leadership dialogue, learning that you can relate to within this. So this magical little human performance formula is called Believe, Behave, Become. And today, I am going to ask you, friends, to really dig deep, to get beyond the surface level transactions, if you will, of life and into what the relationship with your inner voice has to say. Ooh, I hopefully didn't just scare you off. What do we know? We know that one of the most powerful collaborations that you will ever experience is that between yourself and your mind. Your mind, friend, is truly energy. It generates energy through thinking, feeling, choosing, deciding. It is what I would say, in essence, your aliveness. And without it, our physical brain and body would be a bit useless. So when we can fully collaborate with our mind and tell it what we want, what we need, we end up opening up so many more possibilities and so many more experiences. We turn on the muscle of curiosity. We get excited about what's possible versus what's not, and we achieve so much more. And of course, when we do that as leaders, you guys know this, our people follow because they're watching us. They're watching like hawks. They listen to the words we use, to the expressions on our face, to our demeanor, to every action and inaction that we take. So they watch us and they learn from us. And when we model what we want to see in them, we get exponential results, really great results. So your mind does what it thinks that you want it to do. I mean, that might be a really simple way to look at it. Here's what's really powerful. Your mind is always listening to the words that you're using, always listening to the words that you're using and the meaning that you put to those words. That's so important. I need to say it all over one more time. And if you've got pen to paper, I encourage you to write it down. Your mind is always listening to the words that you're using. You may or may not be aware of it, but they are. And let today be that point where you become more aware of that inner voice, because with awareness comes choice. You're always listening to the words that you're using and the meaning that you put to those words. That's the power punch to that statement. So with awareness comes choice. We become more aware of our thinking, that more conscious leader, right? And even further, we put inflection and insights into what do those words mean. So intentional leadership, influential leadership, impactful leadership. Here's where that statement really became a reality for me. A few years ago, well, several years ago now, I was at a conference where Dr. Jim Lehrer was speaking. For those of you that don't know him, I encourage you to look him up. But he's talking along about his premise of taking professional athletes and executives to the next level in their performance. And it's about their purpose, why they exist. And he's talking about how that's the first place he starts with every athlete, with every executive is, why are you here? What is your purpose? What are your strengths? What are your values? And then he moved into a part of the talk where he started to discuss what does that sound like in your head. And I really had a moment to kind of wrap my mind around, my brain around, like, what is he saying? And then he had this profound statement. And it was, the voice in your head is with you all day. It's always talking to you. And is that voice something you'd be proud to display on a wall? No. No, it probably wouldn't be, was my initial instinct. And it was just a really powerful moment for me in my career journey about where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? And if I'm in this work of health and human performance, what does that statement mean in terms of how I should be practicing and helping people bring out the best in themselves? So this language, right, that we use drives our behaviors accordingly. And again, you know this, but for example, if you say, this work is too hard, your mind is going to believe what you say and think you're not skilled enough to handle it. You might procrastinate, find excuses to delay it, or even try to get out of the work altogether. All because of your language and your thinking. So if you think this work is too hard for me, your mind is going to evoke a host of negative emotions that fuel that suboptimal state of performance. So if you say, this work is making me stronger, your mind will view that work as a more positive challenge. And think about the energy that you create around that challenge, therefore empowering. So your mind is very specific to those words and language that you use and from the words that you choose because it produces particular thoughts, feelings, and choices. Simply said, it does what you want based on the words and the language that you use. So our beliefs hold this energy, right? So what you believe drives the energy of your actions. Your actions will create even more energy, and it's a powerful cascade cause and effect. Again, not telling you anything you don't know, right? But sometimes we need this reminder or this deeper reflection point on things to help us elevate our leadership and take us to the next level. So the choices you make and the behaviors you display, right? That's a direct relationship of those beliefs. And when you place your beliefs and behaviors into a positive alignment, into collaboration, you can do and become what you set out to achieve. So simply said, and this is just a great statement, right? What you believe drives how you behave, and how you behave drives who you become. Cheesy, maybe. Truth, 100%. Let me say it again. Simply said, what you believe drives how you behave, and how you behave drives who you become. The becoming, if you think about this, gang, is a natural result of the believe and behave. It's almost as if you don't even need to try because it comes so easily when you're working from that foundation of beliefs that are strong and true to you. Those powerful beliefs create behaviors that literally serve as levers. I just love that. Literally serve as levers. So I'm always thinking to myself, is this belief a lever to hold me back? Or is this belief a lever to catapult me forward, to be able to pull my future forward? So we have to create clarity. So what do you want to do, to become, to achieve? This is the language that you want to use in your mind with your inside voice, and then have ways that you can articulate it out loud to put it into the world and create a positive mental picture around it. And you know this, any negative self-talk or language that defeats is just going to derail the whole story. Not only derail you, but derail your relationships with your boss, with your colleagues, with your employees, with your team, with the community, with your wife, with your kids. So we have to really watch that inner narrative. All right, so how do you turn on that collaboration to create true beliefs and put this into reality? So this is something you already know. And what I hope today is that it's created deeper meaning and greater value to creating personal core values, right? They're powerful words. If you have not done this work, that is your charge after this episode, is believe, behave, become is a way to outperform. And it starts at the foundation with what are my personal core values? How can I become a more value-based leader, which allows you to make better decisions, stronger decisions, faster decisions in life and leadership? Not only do you need to engage in that personal core values exercise, listen to me, I'm like yelling at you, you must do this. But if you've done it already, revisit your values. And here's the thing, make sure that the words you've used to define what that core value means to you are powerful, that they have deep meaning, and that you can put an image to each of those core value words. What is the image that goes with it? What's the picture? Maybe that evokes memories and even engages all the senses. So for me, it's the first football game with my son in high school. One of my core values is action, and I'm always teaching him, be of action. Don't be a slug. Don't be a barnacle. Be a person of action. And to watch him in action and just crush it, the pride. So that picture and action, that word action have deep meaning for me. And when I'm stuck on a decision or disgruntled about something, it grounds me, it centers me, and it reframes and puts my beliefs back into action so that I can behave and become that leader I want to be, I need to be, not only in your personal core values, but let's now think about the deep meaning to organizational performance. Those company core values no longer just become words on the wall, right? Same rules apply. We deliberately take time to choose those value words that anchor our beliefs so that we can behave and become the company, the team that we need to be for the results that we want. And so it's not just a top-down activity, right? To just check off in your plan to improve culture. Creating organizational company core values is a dynamic human experience that really creates this connection and social bonds and puts meaning to words and definitions that become not just physical prompts, but they're physical prompts to an emotional response that feeds a belief to think, act, and interact in a really healthy and productive way. Those core values give us some empowering beliefs that bring strength and conviction. And when we can tie super meaningful words and beautiful images that evoke memories and all the senses and the goals that we're looking to achieve, oh my gosh, unstoppable, right? Unstoppable. So in short, what did we learn today? What did we learn in this little power punch of 15, 20 minutes? That your beliefs, real or made up, they drive your behavior, and your behaviors, good, bad, or ugly, drive what you become. Leaders know our foundational beliefs. So get busy if you don't have the foundational work done. Your core values, your power words, the images that go with them. And so to say that you're outperforming and simply crushing it in life and leadership just means that you're leading a conscious, intentional life. You're putting clarity and learning at the center of all that you do, that you're becoming a more value-based leader who uses them as a filter for how you communicate, how you make decisions, how you motivate others. And they're the filter in which you learn. You just keep learning. There's no failure. Sometimes there's epic failure. I take that back. But you learn from it and you use your values to help you do that. And that is outperforming. That's outperforming. So I can't wait to catch up with you in September, where we're going to be talking about knowing and leveraging power moments. So look forward to sharing more about what power moments are and how to maximize them in your leadership effectiveness. So thank you so much for tuning in and being present to invest in yourself and elevate your leadership, because you're worth it. So remember to grab the leader guide from this episode, which provides you with the space to work on your believe, behave, become outperforming formula. So just jump out, find me on LinkedIn, or visit my website, voltstrategy.com. Hey, everybody, have a great month. Appreciate all that you are and all you're doing. Build that foundation so that you can keep leading to your peak.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to peopleforwardnetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.